We have major updates on Cody Rhodes joining WWE. Also, Tony Khan went on Busted Open Radio to discuss this major announcement. Couple words that he used specifically that make me believe something massive is truly on the horizon. Also, in addition to that, BTE, Being the Elite, is also teasing a huge live event announcement for Monday. So we're going to talk about it all in today's video. As always, make sure you guys click that subscribe button and ring the bell. This way you can get notified on all of the latest content as I continue to drop that for you 7 days a week. And more specifically, guys, we're going to talk about Being the Elite first. So the official Being the Elite Twitter account made a tweet today. Huge AEW live event announcement on Monday's new BTE. Now, as you guys know, for a while, AEW has been teasing and talking about doing some sort of stadium show in the UK. And then, of course, there's been talk about them doing live events in the West Coast. Also, another thing to consider is AEW has yet to come to Detroit, which I don't think they feel like that would be a massive announcement for Being the Elite. But nonetheless, for me and other Detroiters, we would appreciate that, Tony Khan. But nonetheless, AEW has a live event announcement Monday. I'll kind of let you guys know what it is, because if it is, in fact, the West Coast, that is obviously a pretty big deal. My belief is that if AEW goes to the West Coast, obviously they're going to hit California. I also think they might hit Arizona as well. Couple different areas that they could obviously go to when it comes to the West Coast of the United States. We still don't know anything about maybe Canada, but there is a lot of options on the table. Also, just something to consider is for them to make a big deal out of a live event announcement. Clearly, there's something that they got going on. So my assumption might be that AEW might go to the West Coast and then kind of do like a weekend extravaganza. Maybe Rampage also goes live. I feel like they would make a big deal out of it. Let me know what you guys think in regards to that announcement. We got to talk about another announcement, this one coming from Tony Khan. Last few weeks, he's been talking about a major announcement set to come very soon. A lot of people are kind of tired of him hyping up announcements, but I also think I understand why he does it. Even though I don't necessarily agree with it, I understand what he's doing. He's trying to get people to watch his show. Tony Khan was on Busted Open Radio discussing this major announcement should be ready for Dynamite. In fact, he said this show is a do not miss. So you're not going to want to miss this upcoming Dynamite. This is not going to be... The idea here is it's actually not a talent announcement, but he keeps saying that this is going to be an announcement that makes wrestlers and fans really happy. So there's a couple things I think Tony Khan could very well be doing on Dynamite that could be an announcement. So I want to go through a couple of these things, and then obviously as we get more answers, we will discuss them. Number one, I very well could see AEW making an announcement as far as like a pro wrestling union, healthcare, something of that nature. I could see that being a possible announcement because obviously it's a big deal for pro wrestling in general. Fans would be happy about that. Pro wrestlers would also likely be happy about that. Also, I could see some sort of stadium show with NJPW, maybe even Impact and AAA all coming together for a stadium show in the UK. I could see that very well being the case. I think one that, we have been talking about for a very, very long time on this channel, even before AEW actually had a television deal, is AEW being on HBO Max. I still think that is going to be on the table. That could very well be the announcement. I really believe that this announcement is bigger than a talent signing. The problem is when it's an announcement that has nothing to do with talent signing, you got to tread carefully with the way that you promote these types of announcements, because I think a lot of fans at this point, they are expecting something massive because Tony Khan said it's something massive. But if Tony Khan came out and said, hey, like, we're going to California for a live event, yeah, fans in California will be happy, but fans in Detroit won't. Also, one thing that I think could very well be on the table is Ring of Honor. I think AEW could very well be buying out Ring of Honor. And some people think, what would be the value in doing so? Well, one, I think AEW has a lot of interest in the AEW All Out, right, which was precursor to AEW. I think also ROH's Honor Club has a very nice tape library that AEW would be interested in. I imagine if AEW was buying Ring of Honor's tape library and then being announced for HBO Max, or maybe even HBO, or like AEW has their own streaming service using the HBO Max technology, I could see that being a pretty big deal. But Tony Khan is saying this is a do not miss episode of AEW Dynamite. So clearly, whatever this announcement is, he is going to announce it or have it become announced on Dynamite. Who knows, man? The pressure's on Tony Khan, because if he doesn't deliver a big announcement here, not a big announcement, a massive announcement, because those were his words. If he doesn't deliver on it, fans will get tired of the announcements. Now, my belief, I think every announcement is a good announcement for a young company, as long as they continue to follow through. So I know sometimes people are a little bit more critical of Tony Khan based on these announcements. My suggestion for Tony Khan would be, keep doing them, whatever the announcement is, keep hyping them up, but make sure you deliver on them. Because if you're not delivering on these announcements, if you overhype them, we're just going to lose trust. We're not going to really care to tune in. And that's just, I think everybody knows that. The more that you tell us something big is going to happen and then something big doesn't happen, it's terrible. And I don't really have that concern with Tony Khan, but I just mentioned that briefly. All right, guys, we got to talk about Cody Rhodes. Fightful Select dropped some very interesting stuff with Cody Rhodes. So something that's been mentioned was this past week between Cody Rhodes and WWE. Anytime somebody was asked about it in WWE, WWE was very quiet on this. So a lot of people in WWE were very specific to say that if Cody Rhodes comes in and if Cody Rhodes pops up. So specifically speaking, there is technically nothing pen to paper that WWE will currently admit to. Not saying that WWE is not bringing in Cody Rhodes. They very well could just not be admitting it at this time. Also, when Fightful Select reached out to Cody Rhodes last week, the only comment they received was Cody Rhodes is a stay-at-home dad right now. So look, the belief from all these reporters before was that Cody Rhodes going to WWE was a sure thing. And, we talk about this major announcement for AEW and Tony Khan on Dynamite. I genuinely don't believe it has anything to do with Cody. Even if AEW has bought Ring of Honor, I still don't think it has anything to do with Cody Rhodes. And I understand the fans have this really big storyline of, oh, well, let's say they buy out ROH and Cody Rhodes runs ROH and then it's Cody versus Tony Khan. It's that type of thing. Yes, that could be very cool, but at the end of the day, it just doesn't. I don't think that's the plan here. I think if AEW went about it that way, I think they made it too obvious, and that's not something that I think AEW is trying to do. But look, I genuinely believe that Cody Rhodes is going to show up in WWE. That's my prediction based on what we've heard so far. But what's crazy is in the past week, WWE has been very keen on staying quiet about this. I think if Cody Rhodes shows up, it's going to happen in a week or two. I don't think it happens Raw after Mania, SmackDown after Mania. I think WWE should very well be building Cody Rhodes for WrestleMania. If Cody Rhodes is not on WrestleMania, I don't think there's a chance he shows up in WWE. But also at the same time too, if I'm WWE, if I want to ruin AEW's storyline, if it is a storyline, I would just say, hey, we're not in contract talks with Cody Rhodes. We have no interest in Cody Rhodes. I would just straight up say that, and then now WWE has ruined AEW's work, if that is the case. But it doesn't seem like that's the actual case here. It sounds like Cody's going to WWE, but now things are being kept quiet. We'll find out soon. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Peace.